Namaste. Welcome to the Skillful Living program. Today I'm going to talk about the fifth principle, the final principle of the 5 principles for daily living that are associated with Reiki healing and Reiki practice. This is also the longest principle. Just for today, I will honor my teachers and my elders and be kind to all living beings. Now, as I have said in one of the earlier videos, Reiki has been a largely oral tradition, and even now there are many things that we teach, most of us teach in face-to-face classes, and so sometimes the principles change a little bit, or rather the language of a principle might change. This one, because it's so long, does change a little bit. So some people might say we honor all human beings. Some people might say we honor our elders, our teachers, our neighbors. I think let's simplify the idea, just get to the heart of the ideas. There are 2 ideas in this principle. One is of honor and respect, and the other is of kindness. So let's boil it down to that. Why we specify teachers, elders, and sometimes neighbors is that, well, if you really want to learn something good, it will help if you respect the teacher. Firstly, you will learn better. That doesn't mean you must agree with everything the teacher says. Sometimes you may not agree, that's fine, that's your right as a human being. But just treat your teacher with respect and listen to what they're saying. Try to understand what they're saying before you decide whether or not you agree. Secondly, we honor our teachers for the teaching that they bring us. So when I teach Reiki or anything else, meditation, whatever it might be, I expect my students to treat me as their teacher for the duration of the course. But once the course is over, I'm no longer their teacher. It's quite possible I go and learn something from them, then they become my teacher. So it's not necessarily for life, although it's a good principle to generally treat all human beings with respect and honor, but specifically teachers while they're teaching us, and respecting also the teachings themselves. Moving on to the next specific group, elders. I like to think of them as elders, with a capital E. So wise people. We respect them and honor them for their experience, their life experience. So there are a lot of people who may be much more, may have studied something a lot more than you or me, but that isn't the same as the life experience that you and I might bring to bear. So we honor that life experience that our elders have, and we also recognize that they are in a way our future. We are also going to get there. We are also going to become older. In fact, we are becoming older all the time. So a little bit of extra respect for that. In Asia, where most of us are brought up to be a little extra polite, a little bit more respectful to our elders in any case. But I just want to say, if there's an old person who's doing something wrong, then we should oppose that wrong, that action, whatever that action might be. So it's not a blanket sort of respect, whatever you may be doing. And if we extend this also to our neighbors, that basically takes in everybody. So I actually like that idea. Honor your neighbors as well, and it then just sort of means honor all human beings, respect all human beings. Again, with that proviso that if somebody is doing something wrong, something unjust, then by all means oppose that action. The second principle is about kindness, and this can mean different things to each of us. But so long as you're consciously kind to everyone you meet, every human being, and every living being, not just human beings, but animals, even trees and plants, perhaps. That depends on you, how you want to interpret it. I remember when I was a child, my mother used to say, don't touch any plants at night, they're sleeping. So it's a form of respect. I don't know if it's strictly true or not, but it's about respecting all life in this universe. And to me, this principle, in a way, this part of it links up a little bit also with Bhakti Yoga, which we have discussed at some length earlier last year, because Bhakti Yoga also includes respect and love for the divine and for the divinity in every living creature. Once again, it doesn't mean that you don't take action to protect yourself or your loved ones. So it doesn't mean that if you are taking care of a baby, you keep them in a fly infested or mosquito infested place and don't do anything to protect your baby. So we are not taking this to extremes. At least this is my view. If you can be kind even to mosquitoes and flies and rats, that's fine, that's great. But sometimes we have to balance the good of one living being against the good of another. We have a right to protect ourselves in the most humane ways, and those we love or those we are responsible for. So just a little bit of a proviso there again. In general, to sum up once more, this principle is about respect, honor, and kindness. I hope that brings some clarity, and it is a wonderful principle, can change your life. Just set your intention to be kind, and as a practice, you might want to practice any number of random acts of kindness every day, 1 or 2 or 5, whatever it might be. We say random acts because it's not something that I plan because I get a return. That's not kindness. That's just looking for a reward, a return in some way. So just being kind, and sometimes it can be a very small thing, smiling at someone who looks a bit down, perhaps a bit depressed, hugging a friend who's unhappy, using a kind word with anyone, giving your attention, your time to somebody. It's not always about money. It can be, it's much more, I think, actually about giving of yourself. Okay, I think enough said for this week. Thank you once again for listening, and I hope to see you next week. Namaste.